What is up, y'all? This is Nick the Comic Nerd, and we are doing very late. It's 1:05 in the morning. We are doing the Comic Book Community Fantasy Football Week 13 recap. So last week, if you guys checked us out while we were live with Alan and Roscoe and Brian, we showed the standings where everybody was sitting, and those have changed going into the final week of the fantasy football season before the playoffs kick off. So this should only be like 10-15 minutes. I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully that works. My computer just had some issues. We were going to do this around 9 o'clock tonight, and it just didn't work out. I had some stuff going on which stunk, but it just is what it is. But we're here now. It's just going to be me. Like I said, I'm just going to show you guys basically the scores from last week on top of a few keynotes, and I'm only going to show the top player thing that comes up on ESPN. You guys will see. I've showed you guys before on the scorecards. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Hopefully this stays clear. It just slowed down and lagged on my end a little bit, but hey. And then we'll show the standings and who everyone is playing and see if anyone can play spoiler or anything like that. So let's share my screen. I'm just gonna make sure for a minute that it's not slowing me down. It doesn't look like it is. Good. Okay. All right, diving into week 13. So Zach collects and me played a meaningless matchup where neither of us were making the playoffs. I'm in last place in my division. I have been for a few weeks. He was in second to last in his division. He beats up on me 119-53, over than doubled my score. Top performers, Joe Burrow was amazing again. Patrick Mahomes just cannot beat Joe Burrow, whether it's in the playoffs or the regular season. Pretty wild. Michael Gallup had a nice week, scored a good touchdown. I think he broke 100 yards. I might be wrong. I think he did break 100 yards. And then Greg Dulcich, good game for the Broncos. He was probably their only touchdown, I believe, because obviously they did not win. For me, it was Trevor Lawrence. They lost pretty bad to the Lions. Najee Harris, I think, scored but only had 30 yards. Giants kicker Graham Gano missed the game-winning field goal in overtime. For my team, this has been my season. 3-9-1. Zach is at 4-8-1. When you look at my top player being Trevor Lawrence with 16 points and his tight end having 14, I think that's just the sign of how it goes down. Orange Peanut for me, Bearded Comic Bro beats up on Allen Rue, the Comic Viking, 127-55. I believe that Bearded is now sitting in a playoff spot. I could be wrong, but Cleveland's defense went off in the return of Deshaun Watson. Greg Wilson had another big game for the Jets, even though they lost to the Bills. Devontae Smith, really good game for the Eagles when they beat up on... Who did the Eagles beat? I don't remember now. Brian Robinson Jr. had a good game. He scored a touchdown against the Giants. Deebo Samuel did his thing. Pat Freiermuth for the Steelers. I think he had almost 100 yards. I don't think he scored a touchdown because I think the Steelers lost. I don't remember 100%, but like I was saying, Bearded jumping in there. Might be in a playoff spot. We'll look in a few minutes. So, what's up, homie? Thanks for stopping in. Keep it up there for a minute. Tylox the Mighty beats Roscoe. Roscoe might have been needing 2 wins to make the playoffs, and that just got super interesting. So, Tylox beats him 127-101. Christian McCaffrey, crazy good week in the week that Jimmy Garoppolo breaks his foot. So now the 49ers don't have Trey Lance and they don't have Jimmy G. Justin Fields and the Bears lost to the Packers, but Justin Fields had a decent game. Rashad White scored a touchdown for the Bucks in their Wilds comeback on Monday Night Football. Jalen Hurts did his thing. I think he ran in 2 touchdowns and threw 2 touchdowns. He might have had 4 altogether. Terry McLaurin for Tylox, probably his best receiver all season long. So super crazy. Ended up with 2 touchdowns against the Giants, I want to say. I know he had a ridiculous amount of yards. I know there were a ton of tackles missed on him. The Giants' defense was so poor on Sunday. It was terrible. Very heartbreaking to see them get the tie, but it keeps them in a playoff spot, I believe. San Francisco's defense beat up Atlanta, I want to say. I could be wrong there. But Tylox also might be in a playoff spot. We'll see. Southpaw Brad keeps first place in the West. I think he eliminated Brian from the playoffs at 6-7. Brad with 117 points, Brian with 98. Stephon Diggs did his thing again, scored a touchdown early in the game, and then had some decent yardage. Jared Goff beat up the Jaguars. Josh Jacobs things. I think the Raiders came back to win their game. I don't remember who they played last week, but Tyler Lockett scored twice. Keenan Allen had a really ridiculous touchdown catch that was done really far behind him. Brad rolled with Mike White, and even though they lost, Mike White still played a good game for the Jets. So pretty crazy. Beckerman pulls out a win in a low-scoring matchup against Cardboard Crazies. Beckerman might be in the playoffs. I don't remember. I didn't really look before this. Tom Brady, great comeback win since the divorce. People don't want to talk about it, but in all honesty, Tom Brady is still a winner, and he's just doing his thing. Justin Palmer, decent day. Kareem Hunt, not much going on. Chris Godwin scored a touchdown. Justin Jefferson scored a touchdown. And DeAndre Swift finally outscored Jamal Williams, which hasn't happened in a long time. What's up, Trav? What's going on? I think we're getting into your matchup next, right? No, you're at the bottom. Okay. Cole's Comics claims with a win. Pretty sure he clinched the playoffs at 9-4. Like I said, we might go back and look at his schedule to see where he was at. Beats the Comic Vet, who might be eliminated. I think Chris needs a dub to make the playoffs. Tony Pollard did his thing. Crazy that Cole rolls the handcuff of Tony Pollard and CeeDee Lamb, but hey, it works. You know, the Cowboys beat up, I don't remember who they played now. Tyreek Hill, big game for the Dolphins, who I believe won. Josh Allen, lighter week for him. David Montgomery finally had a good week. And then into this matchup, another one where Will from Cuppy's Heroes, I don't know if he can make the playoffs, but I think he might have pulled Trev out of a playoff spot. I don't remember 100%. 153 to 129. A.J. Brown, crazy week for the Eagles. I think he caught 2 of those touchdowns from Jalen Hurts. A.J. Dillon had a nice week for the Packers, who did their thing and beat up the Bears. It's just what they do. Saquon Barkley scored in the second quarter, had some decent yardage. Barkley showed some anger in that game, which was good. The Giants actually needed that. Devontae Adams turned out to be the player he was supposed to be. I didn't know if we should expect that or not, rolling with Derek Carr, but hey, it worked out. DK Metcalf, I think, scored twice. I know Devontae Adams did twice. I know he had a couple of really crazy catches. I think he broke 150 yards. Dak Prescott with 2 touchdown throws, I believe. So that's where we rely with last week's score. I know that was quick. Dallas over Indy. Thank you. Yep. Thank you. So we're going to go into the standings. So remember, in this league, it's 14 guys. Our top 4 make it overall. So with where we are sitting, Cole is a lock. He's in. Southpaw Brad is a lock. He's in. When you go down here, it's a little bit easier. So Beckerman and Trev are still in a playoff spot if it were to end today. So looking at this, 8-5 over 8-4. So if Tylox wins and Trev were to lose, I think Tylox bumps him because he would go 8-4. Oh, Tylox has those 2 ties. Oh, that's what's crazy is the ties come into play. Trev has a tie. I'm sorry, that's not the tie. Brad has a tie. Beckerman has a tie, and Tylox has 2. Wow. You can see the percentages here for making the playoffs. It's pretty crazy. Greg, it looks like needs a miracle. He needs to win. It's bearded. He needs to win. He needs everyone to lose. Besides Cole and Brad, it doesn't matter. Just crazy. So crazy. Wow. I'm trying to see if anyone else. Roscoe is out. Everyone with a 0 is out. Me and Alan are out. Will can make it from Cup of Comics. I think he needs to win. Chris needs to win. Tylox needs to win, and everybody else needs to lose for all these guys with 7 wins to make it in. I believe that's it. The wild cards come from any division. It is not the two. It's not just two teams from each division. I'm pretty sure that's what we talked about last week. So we're going to go to the scoreboard for this week and see what is happening. So I'm playing Cardboard Crazies. That matchup does not matter. Beckerman is right now. We're going to actually pull it up twice. I wish I could do this side by side. Oh, I think I can. I can't. I'm not that smart. Am I? I am that smart. Let's try this. Let's see if this works. Ooh, it works. Okay. Give me 2 seconds, you guys. We're going to make it so you can see everything at once to make it a lot easier. Just give me a moment. To the fantasy league, I did not send out the StreamYard just because it is super late in my house and I was just trying not to wake everybody up. All right, so we're going to cut that in half. And we'll do this so everyone can see. Good. So you guys can see everybody there. Then we're going to do this one. We're going to cut this in half. There we go. Okay. Wow. I can't believe that actually worked. Look at me getting all smart. See if anybody added. Okay. All right. So you guys should be able to see the whole screen, I hope, and hope you hear me clearly. So me and Chris don't matter. Our game does not matter. It doesn't make a difference. Neither of us can spoil because we're both out. Beckerman and Trev are 3 and 4. So hold on a second. Just gotta make it so I can pull that. There we go. So no. There we go. So I wish I could see their overall records a little bit easier. I'm actually gonna drag this even more because it doesn't matter. Yep, that is so much better. All right. So this is the better way to do it. Okay. Beckerman is sitting at 8 and 4. Trev is sitting at 8 and 5. If Beckerman wins, he moves to 9, 4 and 1. Trev moves to 8, 6 and 0. So Beckerman would still hold third in that. If Trev were to win, he'd be 9 and 5. Beckerman would be 8, 5 and 1. And then let's look at Tylox, who could be 8, 4 and 2. So the ties are crazy. It is nuts how this could go down. Tylox is playing Cole. Cole can win, lose, or draw. It doesn't matter. Tylox, it looks like, needs the win. He can still make the playoffs. Crazy. Will and Orange Peanut for me and Bearded Comic Bro. Will can make it. If he wins, he'd be 8 and 6. Trev would be 8 and 6 if he lost. Bearded needs everyone to lose, so he's probably... Oh, they have the same record. Yeah, so they both probably need everybody to lose. So playing each other is good, so that matchup is a little crazy. The Comic Vet plays... Chris the Comic Vet plays Zach Collects. Zach Collects... Zach is out. Zach is out. Chris can make it, right? Chris can make it. So we got the percentage. Chris can make it. Chris would go 8 and 6. He would stay above Will if Will were to win. Roscoe is out. I wondered if it is two. I'm having a feeling it is 2 teams per division. I'm starting to get that vibe, which means Tylox could make it if Beckerman loses. I don't know, just because their percentages, like these guys are 6 and 7. Oh, that's why, because they're 7 and 6. Never mind. I think it's still the top 2. Southpaw Brad and Roscoe doesn't really matter because all 4 teams play week 1 of the playoffs. Roscoe's out. Brad is a lock. The Comic Viking and Brian, that match doesn't matter either. So really, this is a huge matchup. Mike Beckerman versus Trev the Shipping Guru. This is a big matchup. Tylox the Mighty versus Cole. And this is a big matchup. Oh, so is this for Chris, the Comic Vet. Will versus from Cup of Comics versus Bearded Comic Bro. This is wild. So these are the ones to watch. We're going to watch Beckerman and Trev, Tylox and Cole, Will and Bearded, and Chris and Zach. because this one doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. My game doesn't matter. That's wild. I'm trying to just figure out in my head. Let's see if I can find the league homes. Let's see. Just so everyone can see what the playoffs look like. Transactions. I don't know what that is. Username and password issues joining a league. No. Okay. League settings. Number of teams 14. Draft style is a snake. Roster size. Oh, there's 16 of us. Excuse me. No, it's not. I don't remember. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Yeah, 14. Snake. Players scoring. Let's see. Teams and divisions. Okay, that was done randomly. Player rules, acquisitions, trade rules, keeper rules. We are not keeping this season. Regular season set of playoff bracket. Playoff teams are 4. Weeks per playoff match is 1. Playoff seeding tiebreaker is the total points for. Okay, that makes sense. Playoff and home and field doesn't matter. It doesn't say. Oh, wow. It doesn't say, which is okay. We're going to find out in 2 weeks. So it's just the way it goes. It's crazy that it's coming down to it. It's honestly wild. It's so cool. Like, that's the cool way to end a fantasy football season, if you're asking me. You know, I wouldn't Algorithm. Thank you for stopping by. Check out Algorithm. I'll keep them up there. We'll see you guys. Crazy. It's cool when you're in leagues like that. Like, I'm in a league where I can lose, but I need my team to score like X amount of points and I can make the playoffs. But that's what fantasy football is. So it's wild that, like, with the NFL season coming to a close with like 4 weeks to go, you obviously want your own team to win, but now you need your fantasy team to win. So it's wild that you're watching all the games, but that's what it does to us, you guys. I didn't put the links in the description. I'll do that at a later time for everyone in the league. Be sure to check them out. That's all I got. I'm actually excited now thinking about, I'm going to be sitting up tonight thinking like, wait, who's got to win to do this? So, wild. What a wild way to end the regular season. We'll be here Thursday talking about the playoff matchup. So I'll actually come on. You know what? I'll come on Monday or Tuesday. I'll come on Tuesday after the Monday night games are over to preview the playoff picture and see what happened. That's what we'll do. I'll see you guys Tuesday. I hope everybody stays safe. Enjoy your comics.